Okay, good morning. Yeah, I'm looking a little rough. It's like 6 a.m. But anyway, um, I am actually sitting up here and I'm reading my book. And I love the way how Pastor Morris actually puts like a little spinoff on feeding the multitude of the 5,000. Now, as we all know, if you really pay attention, the Bible did not always include men and women. I'm sorry, women and children, okay? It was always only counted for men. So when we talk about feeding the 5,000, you're not really talking about feeding the 5,000. You're talking about feeding 15 to 20,000 people, okay? You have 5,000 men, just like the Bible also speaks. A man who don't work don't eat. It doesn't say a woman. It does not say a child. It says a man who does not work don't eat. Okay? When the Bible speaks, I have noticed it speaks a lot when it comes to men. Okay? The first assignment was given to Adam, man, tending to the garden, tending to the animals that were given to him, naming the animals, tending to the Garden of Eden. Cool. Okay. Well, I'm speaking on the multitude this morning because that's what I'm reading on. But he kind of adds like some funny to it. And he says, Jesus said to his disciples, feed them. One of the disciples comes up to Jesus. You guys know the story. If you don't, okay, one of the disciples comes up to Jesus, they're talking to him about ending service early because, people are hungry. Jesus has been teaching for quite some time. It's all morning. You know how we all get. All right, church service supposed to be over about 12, 1 o'clock. All right, your stomach start talking to you. You're hungry. All right, Lord, when are we supposed to end this service? It's, over 15,000 people out here. People hungry. Restaurants getting ready to close soon. People's stomachs is talking to them. What are we going to do? Well, basically, Jesus says, feed them. Do what now? You realize it's 15, 20,000 people out here, men, women, and children. Lord, as he says, we only got this Long John Silver's box kids meal. How are we supposed to feed these people off this little bit? Okay, maybe we can go down here to the Pizza Hut. Maybe we can, get a couple of pizzas. Maybe we can bring it down here. We can feed a couple of people. Like, this is just the humor that he's kind of throwing out there to be like, I know these disciples was looking around like, okay, we got this bread, Lord, and 2 fish. How are we supposed to feed all these people off these 2 fish and this loaves of bread? Then Jesus says, sit these people down in groups of 50. Huh? You want me to do what? Sit these people down in groups of 50. Men, women, and children. It's 12 of us, Jesus. What? Okay. To make a long story short, they did it. What did they do, guys? They put their trust in God. They put their trust in Jesus. They didn't know how it was going to get done. It wasn't their place to know how it was going to get done. If God told us how things were going to be in our lives, we would mess it up. Why? Humanly, we want control. We want to know how to do everything. These disciples, literally, they didn't understand how it was going to get done. They didn't understand how Jesus was going to do what he did. It wasn't for them to understand. He lifted the bread to heaven. He lifted the fish to heaven. He prayed. And then he told them to pass it out. They fed all 20,000 people. and still had food left over. Trust him. Trust him. I don't know why he keeps giving me that. I said that the other day when I posted it on Facebook. I don't know why. The first word he gave me of the year was obedience. And then he gave me patience. And now the word is trust him with your finances, with your job, with your children, with your marriage, with your career field, with just everyday life struggles. If you can't handle it, if it's mentally becoming too much, I think mental health right now is on the rise because we are trying to do it ourselves. We are trying to handle everything ourselves, and you can't. I am thankful for these times. I got here back in my room 334. It's been a breath of fresh air. Do I miss my children? Yes. Do I need this time with me and God? Yes. He gives me so much when it's just me and him. People say, how are you doing it? God. Seriously, y'all. Excuse me. But seriously, God. I don't have another explanation. I don't have another answer. God. Pajamas, hair tied up, no makeup on, 6 o'clock in the morning. God. Well, he woke me up at 6:30. But then I was up again at 12:30. Now it's 7:30 actually. But I've been up. Just me and him. This is usually what he does. And the funny thing is, I'm so well rested. But I wanted to share that with y'all. His own disciples didn't know how it was going to get done. His own disciples who are supposed to trust him, who are supposed to trust his word, who has seen him perform miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. They have seen Jesus do so many things that they shouldn't even have to question. But they did. How many times do we question God? Lord, this mortgage is due. This mortgage is $2,500. This light bill is over $300. I got this car note, car insurance, daycare. Shoot, let me be realistic. Cam's tuition, aftercare. Is that even half the bills? No. Kennedy's aftercare. Jesus. Entertainment bills, because you got Hulu, Netflix, internet, grocery, gas every 4 days. Not every week. Every 4 days. Gas is going up now. Where gas used to be where I could fill up my tank for $40, it now takes me $62. Okay? And that's just a little bit of my bills. So, how is it going to get done? God. I don't stress about it anymore. All I know is, since my husband has left here, every bill has been paid continuously. I don't know how sometimes. It just gets done. I have learned now to not stress about things that I have no control over. Write it down, give it to him, and know that he will take care of it. Whatever you're going through, whatever you don't know how, things are going to get done, you don't know what the next day is going to be, lean on God. Stop leaning on man. I could talk to men all day long about things that need to be fixed. I could tell all my girls my problems. I could tell it to my mama, my daddy, my stepmom. I could tell it to, my in-laws. I could tell it to my men at my job. I can go and sit down with my CEO, cry to her, and tell her everything that is right now going on with my life. She has things going on too. My boss has things going on. The men on my campus have things going on. My mama, my daddy, my friends, everybody has things going on right now. So what makes my problems bigger than their problems? And sometimes you look at your problems and say, oh my God, my problems are so small compared to this person. It doesn't make your problems less important. Everybody needs their taxes right now. Once upon a time, taxes used to be a benefit. Right now, it's a need for America. It's a need for people. You need right now. It's not a want anymore. Things that used to be a want in the world, it's not a want right now. It's a need. People need to pay their bills. People need to take care of their children, feed their children. Shelves are low on stock of food. Chicken wings and fries cost you $20 at a restaurant. A pack of chicken wings costs you $20. Frozen chicken. And I'm just speaking on chicken because that's what I eat. Seafood, y'all, which a lot of people are going towards. Seafood is expensive, over $30. Trust God. That's the moral of the story. I just thought I wanted to share that with y'all because I just thought, feeding the multitude was already a remarkable story. But to feed the multitude and realize that it was not 5,000. Every time a pastor preaches it, as a child, that's all I know, feeding the 5,000. It was not 5,000. It was feeding 5,000 men. Had nothing to do with their wives, had nothing to do with their children. And back then, God said, be fruitful and multiply. So people ain't have 1 or 2 kids. People have 5 and 6 and 7 children. You're feeding almost 20,000 people. So give God the little bit that you have. Give God the 1 or 2 children that you have. Give God your finances. Try Him. Try Him. How did I learn about paying my tithing? And I'm not doing this because I want everybody to go out and buy the book, because I actually got my book for free. My church wanted us to try Jesus. Pastor Morris did a challenge. He did a challenge. This is my blessing, y'all. I got my book for free. Thank you, Christ Fellowship. Thank you, Pastor Morris. He wanted us to be challenged. So he gave the book for free. For us to read it, for us to learn, for us to trust God. When I finish this book, it then goes to my sister friend. When she finishes it, it can go to whoever it needs to go to. It's for the lessons inside of it that need to be learned. That is how I learned how to pay tithing and offering. That is how I learned how to truly understand tithing and offering. Y'all, I ain't missed a beat. I'm learning every day. Every day is a learning lesson. With this book, I have truly learned, and I am not just breezing through it. I'm actually studying it to truly learn how to trust God in everything. And the first thing that we struggle with is our finances. So I'm not going to hold you much longer. If you can read the book, beautiful. If you can't get your hands on it, as soon as she finishes with it and somebody would like to read it themselves, reach out to me, let me know. I will pass it along. You will then see the advantage of why we pay our tithing offering. Stop thinking that the tithing is for the church. It's not for the church. It's for the relationship of you and God. It's giving back to God. Cain and Abel, giving back to God. If you don't know the story, learn the story. Why was Abel's offering honored and accepted and not Cain's? God doesn't want your second best. He wants your first. I love you guys. Have a remarkable, remarkable Saturday. Deuces.